Hello, everyone. I am Heather with Magnificent Mamas, and we are joined here today with Amy Edwards. Amy, do you want to go ahead and introduce yourself?
Okay, I am 29. I have written a book called Wicked Old Witch and Other Children's Poems, which I have self-published via Amazon, KDP. I have a 9-year-old son. I'm currently volunteering in a school. I have a chronic illness and multiple chronic illnesses, which make it difficult for me to do a full-time job or any kind of job. And writing has really helped me with my mental health. It's a passion of mine and has been since I was a little kid.
I understand that completely and can totally relate. I've got epilepsy, and working outside the home, a full-time job, is just not an option anymore, unfortunately. So do you want to go ahead and tell us a little bit about your books?
Okay, I have written a 90-page book, and it has beautiful illustrations throughout, which I got done by two amazing artists, VJ and AJ. Many different poems in it, from poems about fairies, poems about teddies, about going on holiday, about dancing, about robots and dreams. What I tried to do with the book was write mental health themes in a child way. So I brought in themes of kindness, being caring, diversity amongst families, and just about struggling really, and how people can struggle. And I also, in some of the poems, the children help the child character helps the adult. So yeah, I can read one out.
Yes, please do. We would love that.
Okay. This is called Powers Within. We've all wanted superpowers at some point in time, be it invisibility, flying, or the strength to fight crime. What we don't realise is we have great powers within. Now, it may not be telepathy or X-ray vision, see-through skin. It might be super kindness, bravery, or creativity. We all have strengths in which we need to believe. Our thoughts can be unkind, but not always what they seem. Sometimes we have to feel them, then let the positivity gleam. If you are feeling real low, if you can't see that you're strong, find out what your superpower is to feel a bit better all day long.
I like that. That really speaks to you. I mean, it's not just rhyming the words or anything like that. It's like inside, everyone's got their strengths and their abilities and superpowers, as you put it. I love that. That's awesome. Are they all similar to that, or?
No, there are some that have kind of morals in, but they're like, there's a few that are quite long. So the book is called Wicked Old Witch, and Wicked Old Witch is quite a long poem. It's kind of like a little story in the poem, a short story within a poem.
I think it's so important that authors are writing and putting the underlying, like the morals, the accepting of differences. I feel like you don't see that enough nowadays in literature or TV, or I think it's something a lot of people are missing out on.
Yeah, I do agree. And especially in the school setting, I do feel like kindness and positive mental health needs to be focused on a lot, because obviously you get a lot of bullying in schools, and children not being accepting of other people's kind of home life or religion or whatever it is. My son's been bullied multiple times, and seeing him struggle is one of the inspirations to write something that might help children.
Yeah,
a little bit kinder to each other.
I agree. I mean, my daughter, she's 15 now, and I homeschool her now, but when she was in public school, I remember the first day of school, like she was in kindergarten, and this little boy wanted to punch her in her stomach just because she said hi to him. And I don't know where some of these kids learn their behaviors from, but I think the parents need to step it up a little bit, so to speak.
It's very difficult to understand what goes on in a home. And I think that when a child is getting bullied, they don't look at the other child and think, oh, what's going on in the home and what is the reason they're being bullied. They're upset that they're getting hurt. They don't really care about the other child and what is the reason behind them actually being horrible.
I think each side there's issues, you know, whether it's just somebody being different or whatnot. I think the goal, what we should all be focusing on, is stopping the bullying and embracing differences and being positive.
Yeah, definitely.
So your son's experiences is what prompted you to write the book?
Yeah, that, and I wasn't sure where I was going to go with my writing. I had some kind of darker poems about my own mental health journey and my own struggles with mental health and with parenthood and things like that. But I also had some really fun children's poems. And when I looked at it and worked on it, I had a lot more children's poems than I did anything else. So I concentrated on that because I didn't want a book that had too many different themes and like a little bit confusing. Yeah, I concentrated on the children's poems and worked really hard. It took me 2 years, but in that 2 years to publish it, there was a lot of procrastination.
I get that.
So my son also did give me writing challenges. So he would say, right, I want you to write a poem about a jellyfish. And I'd have to, within the next day, he'd want to see a poem about the jellyfish after he'd wake up in the morning. Or he'd come up with something really random and mix them together, and I'd have to really think on my feet. So that really helped push me a little bit and give me some new ideas.
Do you have any plans for upcoming books or series or anything?
Yes, I do. I have a book in the works now called One Foot Forward, mainly just about my journey with mental health, with parenting. A lot of poems that will hopefully speak to other mums or other people with chronic health conditions or mental health problems, and just let them know that they're not alone and that it's okay that things can get a bit difficult, but also some positives in there. So about how you can grow as a person and live kind of a happier life as well. So it's not all negative. There is quite a lot of positivity in there as well.
Is there any age range you feel like your books are more suited for?
My Wicked Old Witch poetry book, I have put from the ages of kind of 7 or 8 upwards, mainly based on kind of reading ability and what they would connect with as well, what the age range would connect with. Whereas the book that I am currently writing would definitely be based around adults, so anywhere between 20 and, 50 maybe.
Everyone's got their favorites. Who would you say your favorite poet is?
That's a tough one. I don't know that I have one. I think every kind of poet has their own different style, and I really enjoy listening to lots of different styles. One of my sister's friends is very performative with her poetry, and I really enjoy performative poetry, and how much it engages you in the writing. That's something that I would really like. I aspire to write like. I want to write something that can be kind of shown off in a theatrical kind of way, to connect an audience with my writing. But my goal this year is to read a lot more poetry books because I haven't read enough, basically.
Is there ever a way to read enough books that interest anybody? I like sci-fi, fantasy and horror and adventure, and I don't think I could ever read enough books, period.
I think I'm very lucky that I have a friendship group, a writers group locally to me, and I've read a lot of their book, and there is some very talented poets in that group. I think I just want to spend a lot more time in the library, engrossed in a book, this year. That's kind of one of my goals, because even though I love writing and I love reading, I do struggle to concentrate on reading. The book has to grab me straight away within the first kind of few chapters. Otherwise I'll put it down and forget about it for a few months.
Do you prefer like paperback books or like ebooks? So do you have a preference?
I prefer paperback books. I'm currently reading a book on my ebook, but I prefer paperback books. I like the smell and everything of a book. I feel like you can't beat just having a book in your hands.
I agree completely. I love paperback books.
And also it's nice to, like, you can have a nice bookmark and you can come back to it with your bookmark and your hot drink and, enjoy.
I've seen they even have like magnet bookmarks now.
Yeah, I have seen some magnet bookmarks. They are amazing. It's a nice. I do like they have some like glass bookmarks as well that are very nice. I don't know if I can put my camera on mid-recording to show some of the pictures.
Yeah, sure.
So this is the jellyfish.
Oh, that's cute.
I'm wondering about a jellyfish. I have a robot.
Oh, that reminds me of something maybe like Bender from Futurama a little bit with the little and the on the top of his head.
A little alien.
That's cool.
I sketched each one of these and then sent it to the illustrators, and they sent back different versions, and then I gave them feedback. But my sketches are nowhere near as good as their artwork.
But you gave them your rough draft and a rough idea, and they've just polished it up. That was really beautiful, by the way. I was looking at it.
But there's many more than that, but I thought I'd just share some.
Of course.
And the audience can have a look, because I think sometimes really love to look at the images as well, and they can connect with the images as well as the words.
Yeah, definitely. I agree completely. I think I've done more children's book interviews this week than anything else. And it's great to see the pictures and just to see how different illustrators, the graphics, how they create the illustrations just look very cartoony, and some look more like they've been painted. There's just such a variety. It's awesome to see the different styles and to see how the author pictures the illustrations to be. I think that's really unique. I think even you drawing some of it out I've never really heard much of an author doing that before, unless they have like, background in art too, I guess. I don't know. But I guess that helps you convey to the illustrator just exactly how you want your pictures to look, compared to them just sending over ideas and whatnot.
I think it kind of shortened the image, shortened the process of getting the images. I'd given them something to work on straight away, and I also really enjoy drawing. Again, it's something I need to practice on, but I absolutely love different types of art. I like doing watercolors and also crochet. My go-to thing at the moment is making little teddies and things with crochet. So with my book, to help promote it, I'm going to crochet some of the different characters from the poems to sit with me on the tables when I go and take them to children's fairs and things like that.
We will definitely want to see pictures, by the way, of that. That'd be so cool. Do you go to a lot of children's like book events?
I've only so far been to 2, because it was only published in November of last year. Mm-hmm. But I have about 3 on the list to do this year. Like when I first started doing them, I just went along to my friends' bookstores and kind of went along to just experience it and see how the day went. As I've gone along, I've got more confident, and I definitely think it's really important to connect with the people that are walking past you and really show them what you're about. If you just kind of sit there, it's very hard for anyone to know what you're all about, and they won't stop and chat. You need to encourage people to talk.
I think that would be an amazing experience to go and connect with all the little ones interested in books, and just to hear their input on someone's story, and to be able to share about the morals and the values and everything.
I had some really positive feedback recently. I did a giveaway on my Facebook page. The mum messaged me a few days ago saying that the child's won a poetry competition at school, and she said that my poetry inspired her to enjoy writing, and she's going to continue writing poetry. And I just think that's amazing.
That's got to give you the best feeling in the world.
Yeah, definitely. Especially when at the beginning of self-publishing, your sales kind of are quite high because of your friends and your family and things like that buy it, and then it kind of dwindles a little bit if you're not promoting it enough. So I was at a little bit of a low from it not selling massively, and then I got that message and I thought, don't give up.
Nope, that was a sign.
Yeah, it was definitely a sign to not give up and to keep going with promotion that I can do.
And see, that's the thing why I do what I do, because there's so many authors, whether they're self-published or whether they're paying to publish, and maybe they get some promotional through a publishing company, but maybe they don't, and they're just needing a little extra help. And that's why I offer, multiple free services to authors. I think no matter what, I want to help authors get their book out there, whether it's free or paid, because I think, honestly, there's some outrageously high prices for promoting books. I'm not in it for the money. I'm in it to help authors and help readers find books. And I think we've got to, be kind and help others. That's what's important to me.
That's really special because I've noticed on some of the bigger writing groups and communities, there is a lot of kind of people pushing their services, kind of the price being really high. There's also a lot of publishers out there that aren't upfront about kind of what they offer and what they expect from you. It is quite a scary place to be, to trust that that person is going to help you on your journey, but you don't know if they're going to or not.
That's sad and scary, like you said. What would you give, like, one piece of advice for a new author that's getting ready to publish and promote their book? What would you tell them?
My one bit of advice would be to get lots of beta readers, a decent group. I picked people that I knew but weren't massively friendly with, so they weren't biased in any way. And like my first person that I sent my book to said, this isn't even at alpha stage, it's kind of more at alpha stage, not beta reading stage. And I was really disappointed. So my bit of advice would be not to get upset or stuck on any kind of negative feedback, because as long as there's constructive feedback, that's all that's important, working on how you can make your book what you want it to be.
If you have anything else you want to say real quick, we'll make sure we have the links to where your book is purchasable, as well as your social media and website, so everyone can see this, and we will let you know the date that it's posted on the podcast.
Okay, brilliant. Thank you for listening to me.
I hope that was wonderful.
A little bit more prepared, but it is school holidays here.
Yeah.
So it's just been a little bit busy and a little bit crazy.
Well, I understand completely. Trust me. I feel like I've been running on 18-hour days the past week. So I get it completely. But all right. Well, it was a pleasure talking to you. And we will be watching with interest and seeing what your next upcoming stuff is. Thank you so much for being on our show today.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.